Hello, welcome back to Erica's Little Welsh Garden. It's mid-May and I'm down at the allotment. I've hardly been here over the last kind of 4 weeks, to be honest, because the weather has been so terrible. And actually throughout the entirety of kind of late winter and spring, I've hardly done very much up here at all. I've been busy at home building my greenhouse with the polytunnel and things like that. And it's taken a little bit of a backseat, and the main reason being it's just been absolutely terrible weather. Unfortunately, here where I am in South Wales, due to kind of the cold spring and still the cold days that we're getting and nights, I've not been in a position anyway to get anything planted out in the ground that isn't frost hardy, like the courgettes, pumpkins and things like that. I know I've seen on social media quite a lot of people putting those out kind of at the weekend, but here it's really just too early for that. But I have got stuff growing in the greenhouse that is ready, that can come out. So today I'm going to spend a little bit of time and get all of my beds in the middle here ready for taking on some plants. I spent quite a lot of time getting my allotment beds laid out and all of the wood chip in between, and I absolutely love it, but as you can see, there's quite a few kind of perennial weeds that have come up in the middle of all of these beds now that just need to be hand weeded out. And then hopefully if I get that done today or this morning, I can then come back this afternoon and start getting some of the beds planted up with things like the brassicas and onions that I've got, but also I've got things like lupins and hollyhocks that are really desperate to get in the ground, but I'm just not in a position to get them out anywhere at home. So I can use a couple of the beds as nursery beds, while my other things like my courgettes and squash are bulking up, ready to come out. It's taken about an hour to get my beds weeded over, but I'm really pleased with them. I stupidly forgot my hand fork at home, so I was looking around everyone's plot to see if I could borrow one of theirs, but I couldn't find one, so I needed to use a really big fork. But what I was really careful about was kind of not trying to disturb the soil too much, so I kind of gently lifted everything so I could then hand pull it out, because where I've kind of dug the plot over in January and got a load of weeds out, I don't want to keep turning that soil over and getting loads more kind of seeds brought to the surface to germinate. But I'm so pleased that everything's had a really quick hand weed. It will definitely need another hand weed again, but what I'm going to do now is pop home, load up the car with lots of things that I can actually plant out today, and hopefully bring some seeds as well, so I can start direct sowing some things like radishes and carrots. So I'm back from home now. I've got a box full of plants and I'll turn it around and show you what I've got with me. So as well as plants, I've also bought some seeds with me. I've bought carrots and some radish and some rainbow beetroot, but that's kind of a mix of what I put in my polytunnel the other day and some other stuff from home. I'm hoping to use the radish to mark out the carrot rows actually. But in here, kind of very quickly, we have 2 lots of Elsa Craig onions. Again, they are in my polytunnel now, and I'll probably be putting those around my carrots as well. And then I have some hollyhocks here and some lupins. I think I'm going to put these in beds on their own, because I am going to want to transport them as soon as I've got things to go in those beds. So if I've got them together, I can take them out all together and not disturb any of the other roots. And I've also got some other onions here, and these are Red Baron, and these were the ones grown from seed before Christmas from my advent calendar, and I think I'm going to also put kind of intermix them with carrots as well. And the last thing I've got here is some Aran pilot potatoes. I totally forgot just to show you there, but these really should have gone in a while ago, maybe in buckets at home, in the polytunnel, in the greenhouse, but they haven't, so they are very much sprouting now. So these are going to be going in possibly 2 of the beds today. Here at the allotment last year we had a frost in mid-May and all of my potatoes got hit and they never really recovered. So today I'm going to be putting them in, but hopefully if they're a trowel deep, they should kind of be just coming through towards kind of the end of May. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're not going to get any damage. The first thing that I'm going to plant is the potatoes. I'm going to put them in this bed here, which is shared with the rhubarb, and the bed here. The reason being, I've never actually grown any potatoes in the last 3 years along this area. That's the potatoes done now. What I've done is kind of put a little mound where every single potato is, so I can keep an eye on it and just make sure that that potato's come through okay, and it just means that it's a little bit more protected for the next couple of weeks. The bed below me here and the one behind has never had any allium family growing in it. That's onions, leeks and garlic. So that's where I'm going to be putting the Red Baron in this one and the Ailsa Craig onions behind. But also, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be interplanting those with carrots, and hopefully that will deter the carrot root fly when it comes around, because it identifies the carrot by smell. I'm really sorry, but when I was filming getting the Red Baron onions out of their plant pots and splitting them up, my battery ran out, so I didn't manage to kind of finish showing you getting the beds all planted, but they're all planted now, and I thought I would show you what they look like. So this one is the first one, and that has got the Red Baron in. I've put the onions all the way around and then a line down the middle, which means that hopefully the Red Barons will all do really well. They're grown from seed, so I'm really hoping that they're not going to bolt, because whenever I grow Red Baron from sets, they always bolt and I don't get a very good harvest. And then in between, I've got one row here and another row here. I've got some early Nance carrots in, and I've also got some radish along that line as well. So hopefully we'll see where the carrots should germinate, because we have the radish coming up through. So the middle bed there is where we've got the Red Baron, and this bed here is the Ailsa Craigs. What I've decided to do here is actually plant all the Ailsa Craig onions in little clumps rather than individually like the Red Barons. The reason being, I've got so many of them and I'm running out of space, and I was hoping that I could see kind of the difference in growth between the two, and see, you know, with the clumps, do I get spring onions really quickly? Do they mature into, you know, nice little clumps quickly that will give me small onions? I don't know. I've never done it this way, so I thought I would put them in, and since I've got so many, it doesn't matter if you know, they don't do very well. And then in between, I've got 3 rows, one here, and one here, of the early Nance carrots as well, including some of the radishes to help mark the rows. So in this bed here, we've got the Hollyhocks. This is just a temporary measure while I'm not using this for anything else. But you can see from the Hollyhocks, some of them are quite nice and green, and other ones like this one here and here are really yellow. And that's just because they've been pretty much neglected in the pots. They've dried out, they've got really wet, they've been a bit waterlogged, and they've just had the nutrients from the compost they've been in. So hopefully, if they kind of spend a month or so in this bed, they can put their roots out, get lots of nutrients from that soil, and then maybe they can be transplanted to another area. They originally were going to be going in my front garden, but I noticed when I was digging this earlier, or like weeding it over, there is a little bit of mare's tail in this bed, and I've never had mare's tail on this plot before, and I've not got mare's tail at home, so I'm a little bit skeptical, or a little bit worried, sorry, that if I was to transplant these, I could leave a tiny little bit of that root in and take it home, which I don't really want to introduce mare's tail home. But yeah, this is just a temporary little bed here. And then this is the last bed here that I've just planted up. I've got some lupins in here, again grown from seed, not doing very well at home, so I've put them in here to hopefully grow on really nicely. Absolutely love growing lupins, they're perfect, and hopefully if I really wash the roots, I'll be able to take them home and put them in my front garden. I am so pleased with how much I've got done today. When I woke up this morning, the weather was really bad and I thought I wouldn't be able to achieve like as much as this, so I'm so happy that I've managed to get some things put in the ground and making some space at home now. I've still got so much to do on this plot though. Down at the bottom it's covered in grass where I've got my potatoes. That needs to be covered with cardboard and wood chip, and then at the very top where I've got the 3 beds that I haven't really even finished making, I need to, you know, get those onions and garlic harvested, get those completed. But I really am so happy. Thanks so much for watching today. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube have some videos up now on the screen that they think you'll like, so please go ahead and watch those. Bye!